Welcome everyone to another edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct. This is the Week 2 recap show and a look forward to Thursday Night Football, which doesn't seem like it's going to be a great... They really have given us some sleepwalking type of games for these Thursday night games. But we will begin with Week 2. So many different things that we got to see. So many overreactions that many teams that were humbled in Week 1 came back and showed up in Week 2. And many teams that surprised in Week 1 were humbled and came back down to earth in Week 2. So a lot to go through. Recap my picks. Didn't do too bad in my money line or game winning picks, I guess you could say. I went 9-6 as far as picking winners and losers. However, with the spread, like I always tell you, don't count on me for the spread. Count on me for the money line. With the spread, I went 6-9. That's how you know that I should not be gambling. But the money line picks were pretty good. Some of the games that surprised me that I thought were either going to be closer, which I took the spread on, or just flat out thought maybe the team would win, were the Bills and Dolphins. That game turned out to be just disastrous for Miami, and Tua got hurt. So we'll see what comes out of that game. Another game that I thought was a great game, surprised me, was the Titans-Seahawks game. That possibly was the game of the week. I mean, the Titans looked terrible in Week 1 and then bounced back. They were down by 2 touchdowns to Seattle at one point in this game too, and they managed to claw their way back in and get that dub on the road. So we'll recap everything real quick after we look at the highlights. But of course, if you missed some highlights, if you want to get a little recap with some visuals and some actual video, here's that. Pick it up with the Monday night game. Detroit going into Green Bay for the Lambeau home opener, and Detroit got off to a fast start. Here, Jared Goff scrambles out, throws a touchdown pass. Detroit trying to shock the world, up 7-0, but Aaron Jones just too much. Green Bay is one of these teams that came back to life in Week 2. They get the touchdown there, but Jared Goff, beautiful ball here to his tight end. The Lions wouldn't go away until the Packers really decided, all right, it's time to play. So, again, Aaron Rodgers here finds Aaron Jones. He was double covered, but the guys are just too slow to keep up with this man. Here he had a chain with his late father's remains, which he eventually lost, but he lost it in the end zone, and the chain was later found. Cool story there. All right, Packers back on top, 21-17. Aaron Jones, another touchdown. He had 4 represented for the 9-1-5, as you can see. Aaron Jones here again gets into the end zone. Green Bay takes this one 35-17, and the Pack are back. All right, we go to the Jets and the Patriots, and Zach Wilson was seeing ghosts out there. All right, Patriots pick him off here. First interception of the game against Zach Wilson. Patriots are in business. Zach Wilson, another pass, another interception. Zach Wilson, at one point in this game, had just as many completions as he did INTs. Mac Jones hands it off here, and the Patriots were up 10-0, and you could just kind of tell that they were going to run away with this game. Zach Wilson back to doing what he was doing best in this game, which was throwing to the other team. Another interception here for New England, and guess what? He threw another. At one point, he had 4 completions, 4 interceptions. So, not a good day for the rookie quarterback for the Jets. And then New England here just shuts the door on the Jets. If they had any hope of making something happen, look at this effort. Everyone's just pushing the pile. Patriots, 25-6 winners in New York. All right, Trevor Lawrence gets this game started with a beautiful ball here. Touchdown, Jacksonville. They go up 7-0 on the 3rd and 13. All right, but Teddy Bridgewater and the Denver Broncos offense would recover. Teddy Bridgewater here finds a tight end for the touchdown. They go up 10-7. Then later in the second half, Teddy Bridgewater one more time finds his tight end again, another tight end for another touchdown. And then, this is something to feel good about. If you're a Jaguars fan, I guess, is you got an exciting play other than the Trevor Lawrence play. Kick return for a touchdown. Dude takes it all the way to the house. At this point, the game was within reach, you could say, I guess, at 23-14. I believe they went for 2 and didn't get it, so 23-13. But then on 4th and 1, Broncos convert. Broncos winners, 23-13 in Jacksonville. All right, and this was the game that I just was super disappointed in. If anything, I thought it was going to be a good, competitive ball game. It was not. It was not at all. The Bills here, Devin Singletary takes the handoff all the way, touchdown. Now Josh Allen fakes out the defender. Guess who he finds? Your man, Stephon Diggs. Diggsy gets the touchdown there. Buffalo up 14-0. All right, now this was a crazy sequence here. So Buffalo gets the pass completed. Fumble. Miami recovers. All right, Miami's in business. A couple plays later, now the Dolphins give it right back to the Bills, and now they come back the other way. Turnover, followed by a turnover, and Buffalo wasn't going to let that slip up. That opportunity to take advantage of. Another touchdown here for Josh Allen. Buffalo up 21-0, and like I said, Tua was injured in this game, so the Dolphins offense just really had nothing at all. Look at this. I mean, they're just running all over them. Bills winners, 35-0. All right, 49ers, Eagles in a pretty weird game. Super low scoring here. If you had the under, I'm sure you felt great about this. Garoppolo gets the touchdown pass there, 7-0 49ers. After a touchdown run right here, it's 14-3. All right, field goal. This is what we're settling to, guys. Just field goals, because this was not a very exciting game. So it's 17-3 at this point. The Eagles trying to make it a ball game. Get the touchdown there. They go for two. 2-point conversion is good. All right, 2 field goal game. It's 17-11. But yeah, on 2nd and 9, the 49ers are throwing. They're trying to milk the clock. They get the first down conversion there. And then on a 3rd and 1, get it there as well. Ball game. 49ers 17, Eagles 11. Now this one was a good one. To Indy we go, where Carson Wentz is trying to stay on the field. On 4th and goal, they went for it, and the Rams defense shows up. All right, so that leads to this. Stafford looking back at the end zone. Got his man Cooper Kupp. People, don't sleep on Cooper Kupp. This man can ball. All right, now it's a 10-6 game. Rams get into the end zone again. 17-6. And Carson Wentz, though, fighting back. Here finds his receiver, Zach Pascal. All right, we got a ball game. It's a field goal game at 17-14. Now the Rams just trying to punt it out of their own end zone. Oh, no. They fumble it. The Colts fall on it. And now the Colts are up. They're in the lead. They're in business 21-17. But Stafford drives these guys back down the field. Cooper Kupp touchdown in the back of the end zone. And the Rams are back on top. And then after field goals, the Rams for the game winner right here. They get it. Rams 27-24 in Indy. All right. Surprise game of the week. Nominee. The Steelers right here playing against the Raiders. And Big Ben just does not look like himself. It might be time to hang it up for him. He throws a pick here. And the Raiders offense, as much as they were missing Josh Jacobs, they did show up. Here, I mean, they only had 6 points at that point in the game. Pittsburgh gets the touchdown there, but here's Derek Carr. Beautiful ball to the tight end. All right, Vegas is in business. 16-7. Roethlisberger finds the Rook. The Rook goes all the way. End zone touchdown. Najee Harris gets in. And now Pittsburgh's in business, but they're down 2 here. 16-14 in the 4th. Derek Carr sends it flying. Got his man. Touchdown. The Raiders go into Pittsburgh and win 26-17. They are 2-0. All right. Bounce back game for the Chicago Bears. And let me tell you something. The defense, they looked dominant. Joe Burrow couldn't do anything here against the Bears defense. It looked like the defense of a few years ago. Really, the Bengals couldn't do anything against them the whole game until the very end. But, I mean, Khalil Mack is the leader of that defense, and he showed up. And here we got a fumble by T. Higgins. The Bears fall on it. The Bears are returning it the other way. Andy Dalton got injured in this game, gave a chance for Justin Fields to come in. The Rook struggled a little bit, but obviously he's going to have some growing pains. But here, man, Joe Burrow, what happened? I mean, pick 6 here. Raekwon Smith takes it back to the house. Touchdown, Bears. The Bears were up 17-3. It looked like they would run away with it, but Joe Burrow caught fire after a couple picks here. At one point, he threw back-to-back interceptions, but here it's a 20-10 game with just under 4 minutes to go. He gets the touchdown right there. And, you know, it was a close game, but Justin Fields on 3rd and 9 here scrambles out. 3rd and 9, you got to get him. You got to get the stop. Justin Fields wins the game right there for the Bears, 20-17. All right, to Cleveland we go, where they were favored by 13 points. And, yeah, they didn't win by 13. But they got the job done. The Texans hung in there in this game. They hung tough with the Cleveland Browns. Jarvis Landry got hurt for the Browns in this game, so he's going to be out at least 3 weeks. He's on injured reserve. But the Texans hung in there. Tyrod Taylor scrambling right. Tyrod Taylor gets in, touchdown. Houston was up in this game, putting a little scare on the Cleveland Browns, with Baker Mayfield doing a little scramble session himself. Gets the touchdown here to tie the ball game up. And then it was just too much Cleveland Browns. Here, Baker with a nice little quick pass to the receiver. And he takes it into the house, 21-14 there. Now it's a 24-14 game, and the Texans, like I said, wouldn't go away. Front flipping into the end zone. It's a field goal game, but, yeah, they just got too many offensive weapons. The Cleveland Browns here take it to the house, 31-21 final in Cleveland. All right, Carolina came out at home firing on all cylinders here. They get the touchdown. Sam Darnold, hey, maybe it was just the Jets coaching staff that couldn't get it done with him, because he's not looking so bad. The Saints, on the other hand, after destroying the Packers in week 1, looked not great here against Carolina. Darnold, another touchdown pass there. Here, Jameis trying to make something happen. Instead, throws it to the other team. Oh, no. Looking like the old Winston. 17-0 Panthers at this point. Jameis brings them back here on a 3rd and goal. He scrambles and gets it to the house. 17-7 there. But just too much Carolina Panthers. Don't forget they have this man, Christian McCaffrey. He dives into the end zone. Touchdown. And the Panthers take care of the New Orleans Saints 26-7. All right. Oh, man, this one's going to be tough. The Vikings on the road facing the Arizona Cardinals. They get on the board first, and they go up 7-0 just like that. First pass of the game for Kirk Cousins is a touchdown. But Kyler Murray, just too much. The defense can't stay with the receivers for this long. Finds DeAndre Hopkins there for the touchdown to tie it up. Now the Vikings are up 14-7 after an Adam Thielen touchdown. Kirk does a little scramble himself. Finds Justin Jefferson. He does the gritty. You know he's good at that. 20-14. You know why? Because the Vikings shanked the extra point. Oh my God. I hate extra point shanks. And then, did he come in from out of bounds or what? Because who's guarding this man? The Cardinals here take the lead right before halftime. Rondale Moore, who could become quite a little player for the Cardinals. He looked really good. Now the Cardinals, of course, they take a 62-yard field goal before half and make it. So now the Cardinals got momentum, but Kyler Murray gives it right back to the Vikings. Little Rondale Moore can't tackle Nick Vigil. Touchdown. So the Vikings take the lead. And remember, they missed an extra point, so they would be up by a touchdown, but instead they're only up by 6. A.J. Green coming back to life. Now the Cardinals are up 1. Now the Vikings kick a 52-yarder. This dude that shanked the extra point makes a 52-yard field goal to give them the lead. Now, Kyler Murray on 4th and 5 finds Christian Kirk inside the 10. That sets up a field goal for the Cardinals. They take the lead 34-33. And now Kirk's got to drive the Vikings down. Remember, Kirk can't do it. Back-to-back weeks, Kirk has done it. He has driven the Vikings into potential game-winning territory. And both times, one was the Dalvin fumble in week 1. And now this, a missed 37-yard field goal. How do you miss that? Vikings are 0-2. All right, I'm over it. All right, here we go. Tom Brady and the Bucs at home taking on the Atlanta Falcons, and everyone expected the Bucs to win, and they expected correctly. Gronk, 2 touchdowns here from Tom Brady. It seems like we'll be hearing a lot of that this season, and I got to show love to my man Cordell Patterson, who takes his handoff, gets the touchdown there to put the Falcons down only by a score. Mike Evans, though, gets the pass from too much Tom Brady. All right, another one there. That's 2 for Gronk, 2 for Mike Evans. And one more time, shout out my man, Cordell Patterson. One-handed grab here, takes it into the house himself. All right, the Falcons sticking around. But, yeah, Tampa Bay, too much. All right, Chris Godwin, I got you 1-2. Back of the end zone, touchdown right there. Tampa Bay goes up 35-25. And now this man, Mike Edwards, with his second pick 6 of the ball game, and the Buccaneers win 48-25. All right, Dallas at the Chargers, and this was one of my picks I switched last minute, and I'm glad I did because the Cowboys came to play. I think they're actually pretty damn good this year. They stayed with the Buccaneers in week 1, and now here against Justin Herbert, the defense showed up. Herbert gets the score here to put the Chargers within. After they go for 2 here, put them within a field goal. But it was a relatively low-scoring game after the Chargers tied it up, and then teams went back and forth on field goals. The Cowboys come through and get the win on the road. 17-14, big-time win for Big D. All right, Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett do this every single game. There's always like a 50-yard touchdown between the two. Tyler Lockett there puts Seattle up, and now Seattle's up 13-6. And now this I'll talk about after the highlights. This was called not a touchdown by the referees because they said because his toe touched the end zone first, his heel also needs to touch inside the end zone. So explain a toe tap to me, please. All right, regardless, we'll get into that later. Tennessee there with Derrick Henry gets the touchdown. And then now they're down by 8, but Seattle. Who is guarding this man? What is up with these defenses not guarding guys? Seattle up 30-16. Extra point. Clank. Oh my God. Another missed extra point in the NFL. How does that happen? So that puts Tennessee only down by 2 touchdowns. So of course, they're not going to be throwing desperate mode. They're going to be running desperate mode because they have Derrick Henry. So Derrick Henry here gets the touchdown, puts them within 1 score. And then later with 30 seconds left, Derrick Henry piles in again. Tie ball game. So we go to overtime. And again, something I'll talk about after the highlights. This is a safety. This is a safety. Why is it not called a safety on the field? These refs, man. All right, but it didn't backfire because the Titans drove down the field, get the game-winning field goal right there. They're winners on the road, 33-30. All right, we go now to the Sunday night football game. We got Kansas City taking on Baltimore, and this did not get off to a good start for Lamar Jackson. Tyrann Mathieu picks him off and comes back the other way. Touchdown Chiefs. Now, Mahomes, scramble. Beautiful ball, back of the end zone. Touchdown there. Kansas City up 14-7. Now with the Chiefs up 21-17. Look at, they have so many weapons. Here we go. Nicole Hardman gets the touchdown there. And now Lamar Jackson trying to make something out of nothing. Again, a wide open Hollywood Brown behind the defense. It's like these guys ran in from the sidelines behind the defense and no one saw them. So Mahomes, again, looking. Find Travis Kelce. Kelce, he's going to get tackled at the 40. No, maybe he'll get tackled at the 30. No, maybe at the 20. No. Travis Kelce tackled at the 5. No. Travis Kelce went all the way. Touchdown there. Kansas City's up 35-24, but Lamar put this team on his back. Gets the touchdown there to bring them within a score. They went for 2 and they missed it, but then they got the ball back. Lamar does the flip into the end zone. Now Baltimore's up, but fumble. Kansas City ran it. They took the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hand. They ran it, and on 4th and 1, Lamar shuts the door. Ravens 36-35. All right, well, week 2 had some great games coming down to the wire. At one point, you had the Cowboys-Chargers game, you had the Vikings-Cardinals game, and you had the Titans-Seahawks game, all ending around the same time. You're trying to scroll between channels. I was just sweating, getting ready to cry, obviously, with the missed 37-yarder by the Vikings. But overall, great games. Really, there were only a couple duds this week. The Bills, Dolphins being one of them. But really, great weekend of football. The one thing that I mentioned I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to get on it right now. The refereeing between week 1 and now week 2 has been inconsistent, to put it nicely. There's been some calls like the Titans, that call in the back of the end zone. The dude gets his toe clearly in bounds and then drops his heel, which also looked like it could have been in bounds. If you want to do the whole evidence, there's not enough evidence. Well, to me, there was not enough evidence that his heel was out of bounds. But regardless, then explain to me a toe tap. If he toe tapped in the back of the end zone and then his heel comes down fully out of bounds, is it based on just how his foot is looking? Like, does it look like a very nice toe tap? And then that means he's just toe tapping. And if it looks like a step, then he's not. Like, I'm just confused at the way we are calling these. One, what's a catch? Two, is it a touchdown? Is it not a touchdown? And what the worst part is, it's leaving points on the board, or off the board, I should say, for some of these teams. Right there in that situation, it cost the Titans. They had to settle for a field goal. So that's 4 points that they could have had that the refs took away from them. Week 1, obviously, I was watching the Vikings game. Justin Jefferson had a touchdown. He caught a ball. He had some yards after the catch. He's diving into the end zone. You can clearly see from the one replay that the first body part of his to be down is his butt. Now just look at the side angle and look at where the ball is when his butt touches down. And they did show that. You could see the ball is clearly over the goal line. And they didn't call it a touchdown. And because on the field, they said they called it down at the half-yard line, they said there wasn't enough evidence. There's the evidence right in front of you. I don't think whatever call you made on the field should really matter. Just make the right call. Make the right call once you're slowing it down, and that's why there's challenges, and that's why there's replay, and that's why they have 10 different cameras at their offices to look at these replays and come up with the right call. The Vikings, it didn't end up costing them because Dalvin gets the touchdown on the very next play, but that shouldn't go without being noted. That's a big deal. That's a big mistake by the NFL and the league officers who are replaying these plays. The Titans, it cost them 4 points right there. Luckily for them, they came back and won the game. But if I'm a Titans fan and we would have lost that game, I would have been so upset at that call. That was the 4 points that could have won us the game. And on top of that, in overtime, Russell Wilson scrambling back there. He's not giving up. He's trying to dodge the defender. He's in his end zone and throws it away, which is intentional grounding from the end zone, which is a safety. That's a game-winning safety for the Titans. And they didn't want to call it. The refs didn't want to call it because for as much as people say you don't want the game decided by the referees, if it's the right call, it should be decided by the referees. And at that point in time, Russell Wilson is in his end zone, and that's where he threw it away. Clearly, he was in the end zone. Clearly, he wasn't dragged back there without a pushback. He could have just dropped down and gave up at any point, but he was trying to scramble out of the defender's arms. He scrambled his way into the end zone, and that's where he threw it away. That's a safety. The Titans should have won the game right there. But instead, they didn't call it a safety, and now the Titans have to do some work, and same thing. Lucky for them, they win it on the game-winning field goal, but they had 6 points right there taken from them. Both could have been winning points. So, again, the refereeing is just getting under my skin when I'm seeing these things. And when I'm seeing them, every time it costs somebody like a game, like in the playoffs a couple years ago, and it was a pass interference call and everyone was all up in arms about it, they make the complaint. And then they even changed the rule because of that, because it cost them the game. But a lot of these things play out during the game that could still cost you the game. And so it bothers me when these mistakes go unnoticed because they happened in the third quarter. It doesn't matter when they happen. If it's the first play of the game and that's a mistake on the referees, it needs to be called out and it needs to be corrected, adjusted. If it went back to the offices, come on, I can't just be forgotten because it happened in the first quarter. So, that's been super frustrating. A few last notes. I guess I should get on real quick. I want to say the Raiders really surprised me. They went into Pittsburgh. They took care of the Steelers. And as much as I can think, well, maybe the Steelers aren't that good, they did beat Buffalo on the road in week 1. Week 3, I think now you have maybe a better sample size of what these teams really are. The Chiefs, obviously, no one's concerned about them. Lamar put the Ravens on his back, so give him props for that. The Cardinals didn't look as good as they did in week 1 when they beat the Titans. This week they beat the Vikings, but it was close. And the Vikings, quite frankly, should have won the game. 37-yard field goal as time runs out. You need to make that kick. So that's on the kicker straight up. And the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys are good. And I think, week 1, the Bears defense got destroyed by the Rams. They bounced back. That defense looked awesome. They shut down Joe Burrow, and I think Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. The Bengals offense was pretty good in week 1, granted against a bad Vikings defense so far this season, but I think the Bears defense actually, it looked like there was some slippage there, like they were not scary anymore. But if they play anything near to what they played like they did against the Bengals, look out for this Bears team. I think once they get Justin Fields, I think it's smart. Also, they're not starting Justin Fields if Andy Dalton stays healthy. Dalton got hurt this game. The news coming out of Chicago is that if Andy Dalton is good enough to play, that he's still going to stay the starter, which I think is the right play. I think it's the right call. If you've been watching the Bears games, I think Dalton is playing some pretty good football. I think he's, maybe they're not the most explosive offense, but he's kept them in games. I mean, if the defense doesn't play as horribly as they did against the Rams, I think Dalton is very capable of keeping them in games and putting up 20 or so points per game. And if the defense can just hold and do anything close to what they did against the Bengals, I think the Bears have a chance to win every single week. Justin Fields, on the other hand, maybe he just needs the time. I like Justin Fields. I think he's going to be a great quarterback, but I think he might just not be ready. This week is not an indictment on who he is. Obviously, he was thrown under the fire when Dalton got hurt, but as much as people can say that Dalton, isn't giving them a great chance to win, when Dalton was in there, the Bears were fine. They were leading. They were winning. And he's not putting them in positions to lose. And that might be the fear with Justin Fields because he's young. Maybe he's not making his reads as quick as he should be, or he's scrambling out of the pocket way too soon. He had an interception and he made some mistakes, and maybe that's just rookie pains right there. But if you're making those mistakes, you might be putting your team in a position to lose by giving the ball to the other team in your own field. So. Not an indictment on the kid. I think Justin Fields got a bright future, but I would also keep starting Andy Dalton if I'm trying to win, and if I'm trying to win right now. I think Justin Fields is the quarterback of the future for sure. But so overall, the Bears, if the defense can play like that, man, they were lights out. The Bears will be in every single ball game, and they'll have a chance to make some noise, possibly even win the division because with the Packers. They got the job done against Detroit, but I just don't fear that defense whatsoever. I think when they play a team like the 49ers next week or the Cowboys or these explosive offenses, I don't think the Packers defense can hold. So we'll see what comes about. Week 3, like I said, bigger sample size. Now we'll start to see who these teams really are, and they'll start to separate themselves. Looking ahead real quick to the Thursday night football game, we got the Panthers in Houston taking on the Texans. The Panthers started off as 4.5-point favorites. They are now 8-point favorites. That's a lot of points. They're playing in Houston. The Texans, they stuck with Cleveland. Week 1, they destroyed Jacksonville at home. The thing is, the Texans, I think Tyrod Taylor got hurt, so they had to put in Davis Mills. So that's what this line is really riding on, because the Panthers defense hasn't been terrible. They've showed up. And if the Texans have to start Davis Mills, a rookie, that line might be accurate. So we'll see. It depends. If Tyrod Taylor's playing, obviously I'm taking the Texans +8. I think, and I might even take them to win if Tyrod Taylor starts. I think the Panthers might be feeling themselves at 2-0. And who knows? We'll see on a short week. We'll see how that happens. But if it's not Tyrod Taylor, the Panthers are winning, and the Panthers are winning by more than 8 points. So my surest bet, it really just depends on that. So right now we're not sure, but the over-under is set at 43. I would just say wait till right before the game. Find out who's playing. If Tyrod is playing, Texans +8, and give me the over on 43. If Tyrod is not, Panthers -8, and the over-under, under. I don't think the Texans will be able to do much with a rookie quarterback against a pretty solid Panthers defense. So we'll see what happens on Thursday Night Football. I'll be back on Friday to recap that game and start looking ahead to the weekend of Week 3 and make my picks. So we'll see. We'll see you guys on Friday. We'll recap Thursday Night Football. Look ahead to Week 3. Can't wait. Talk to you guys then.